Magic. What do you think of when you hear that word? Whatever it is, I bet it's not from a video game. For me at least, magical experiences in video games are beyond a rarity. I've played hundreds of games over the years, and even still I can only think of a few. Riding through a snowy Saint Denis in the otherwise worthless Red Dead Online, taking in the beautiful sight of Cyberpunk 2077's Arasaka Parade, witnessing the highs and lows of life in Arise a Simple Story, and of course, finally spreading Faye's ashes in God of War. A perfect 10 on IGN, 94% on Metacritic, an acclaimed 4 out of 5 on the Dunkview. The sheer brilliance of 2018's Game of the Year is clearly not something I need to argue. Cory Barlog and Santa Monica Studio crafted a beautifully simple story about a father and son's quest to bury the heart and soul of their family. Without her, the glue that held them together has withered away, but through their quest to fulfill Faye's final wish, they realize that their newfound bond is enough to keep them moving forward. Not as the stoic man and bratty boy that began this journey, but as the loving father and inspired son that saw it through. And all this to push one simple message to the player.
Who I was is not who you be. We must be better. And you must be better than me. Understand?
So therein lies the challenge of Ragnarok. How could it possibly be better than this? Well, Santa Monica made it look easy. Rivaling the scale of Attack on Titan with a story exceeding the hype of any franchise to date, God of War Ragnarok glues its players to the screen with an endless stream of incredible action sequences backed by addictive combat, genuine character development brought to life by phenomenal acting performances, and a soundtrack more than worthy of a god. All these things come together to illustrate a story meticulously crafted to mirror Norse mythology by a gaming studio with the ambition to exceed their prestigious predecessor and the patience to deliver a finished product, something we all know is growing exceedingly rare in the industry. But this game's weighted combat, jaw-dropping scenes, and near KOTOR-level twist are not what make Ragnarok the perfect sequel. Its greatest achievement, I would say, is its expansion of the previous installment's themes. Because if 2018's God of War was a story about being better, then Ragnarok represents the tempting allure of old ways.
But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be
The past is something that often comes back to haunt us, and for the ghost of Sparta this is especially true. As a man who once killed anyone and everyone in his way without so much as a second thought, Kratos is no stranger to the far-reaching effects of pure, unadulterated power. In a situation such as his, in which any attempt to resist prophecy only brings it closer to fruition, such violent means become more and more excusable. And that right there is the essence of temptation. Because in simpler days, when a level head and a sturdy swing of the Leviathan axe were all he needed to prevail, his past desires felt foreign. But now, as push comes to shove and Odin continuously remains 2 steps ahead of the curve, desperation sinks in. And in desperation, the taste of temptation is most familiar. Time and time again throughout this story, we see Kratos teeter on the edge, so close to falling back into his old habits. Not because he's bloodthirsty, not because he seeks vengeance, but because he loves Atreus. And much like Freya, our cautionary tale, he would do anything to keep his son safe, even if it pushes him away. But hey, Kratos did say,
Could close your heart to it.
The young and impressionable Atreus, then, desperate to live up to his father's legacy without causing his prophesied demise, can do nothing but join Odin in his quest for absolute truth. The search for truth, wrought with self-reflection, is something we can all relate to. It is the elusive answer to the age-old question, why are we here? Even Odin, with his strength, stature, and intellect, has been unable to explain away his own existence. After every crime he's committed, after every life he's ruined, all Odin has to show for himself is this mask, representing the fact that this truth does indeed exist. As Atreus allies himself with Odin, hoping for the same, the many lessons his father taught him begin to fall by the wayside. And perhaps that's for the best. Kratos doesn't trust him enough to deal with what he's going through anyways. As Atreus spends more time with Thor, Odin, Heimdall, and Thrud, the vices of overconfidence, impatience, and recklessness grow inside him. And these rising vices, as they often do, quickly come back to bite him.
There was a wolf in hell. He was in chains and I set him free. I thought that if...
Garm? Great bleeding fuck, lad, you freed Garm! Garm? Who freed Garm? That's madness. Surely not you, young one.
If the Hound of Hell is loose, he'll chew through the fabric of the realms.
As Kratos' old habits move him dangerously close to repeating Freya's fatal mistake, and Atreus' overconfidence shrouds his most important judgments, this wolf does what otherwise would have been impossible. It brings about a reunion between father and son, and here, Atreus is at long last reminded of his father's wisest words, which now more than ever serve as a vital lesson for both our heroes, as they finally own up to their mistakes.
I have been falling back into my old ways. I chased you away.
Without you, I got reckless. Overconfident. Made stupid mistakes. Let's make a promise. I'll listen for your voice in my head when you're not there, to guide me. And you do the same.
Atreus. I am sorry.
Don't be sorry, Father. Be better.
This heart-to-heart, though, as wholesome as it may be, is not the key to their future. That, as it always does, lies in the battle ahead. One fraught with action, spectacle, and above all else, a heartbreaking turn of events that push our heroes to their limits. Brok's death at the hands of Odin is the final straw that turns the realms against their Asgardian overlord. The desire for vengeance it births brings Kratos' inner Spartan to life far more than the rage bar ever could, as he and Atreus shift their focus from preventing Ragnarok to causing it. Odin, more desperate than ever to uncover the truth, cowers behind his wall, while unbeknownst to him, this truth he spent so long searching for can be seen in broad daylight on just the other side. As Kratos, Freya, and Atreus lead Ragnarok to Odin's door, they discover that he sent innocent refugees to the front lines, hoping only to slow them down. Normally, Kratos and Atreus would close their hearts to it and move on, but now, at the climax of the journey their beloved Fae sent them on, Kratos looks to his son, and what does he see? Not Loki, not Atreus, but a Spartan. And it's here, upon seeing the fruition of his greatest fear, that Kratos personifies the truth, remembering the loving nature of his late wife. For his own sake, as well as his son's, Kratos chooses to change. He chooses to open his heart and abandon his thirst for vengeance. He chooses to help the innocent Midgardians and to make peace with Thor. Then, in the most crucial moment of the fight, he chooses to trust his son. In all these instances, despite the odds stacked against him, Kratos makes one simple decision: to be better. And taking after his father's example, staying true to the promise they made not long ago, Atreus does too. He breaks Odin's mask, preventing him from ever seeing the truth in plain sight right before his eyes. The truth of existence is its only constant: change. We are here to change, and to change for the better. But Odin refuses to accept that he should. This ignorance is so deeply rooted within him, in fact, that even if Atreus hadn't broken the mask, Odin still wouldn't have seen the truth for what it is. And it's this ignorance that kills him. This is the truth of Ragnarok. All of us, no matter how strong, talented, smart, influential, or even godly we may be, are flawed. And it's our responsibility to better ourselves, because prophecy, the abandonment of free will, certainly won't do it for us. It's only by making the choice to do so ourselves that we may craft a better tomorrow, and that is a choice we have to make every minute of every day. We will all stumble along the way, sure, but when you stumble, when you give into temptation, when you see yourself falling back into old habits, don't be sorry. Be better.